and welcome to this video on Business and Entrepreneurship Education Grade 8. Today, we'll look at Unit 3, Part 1, which is on production. The learning objectives for this lesson are explaining the term production, describing the production process, and distinguishing between labor-intensive and capital-intensive methods of production. To start, let's look at the definition of production. Production is the process of using resources to manufacture goods or provide services. These goods and services are used to satisfy the needs and wants of consumers. Entrepreneurs are also known as producers and service providers. Entrepreneurs take initiative and decisions to carry out production in their enterprises. Some examples of production are production of shirts in a factory, the manufacturing of chocolate in a business, doctors providing healthcare services, and so on. What is a production process? The production process refers to the steps involved in turning inputs into outputs. Inputs refer to resources or factors of production. These inputs are used to produce outputs. Examples of inputs are land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Let's now look at some examples of production processes. In the production of table, the input is the wood, the process is the cutting, polishing, and assembling of different parts, and the output is the table. Similarly, in the production of dolpuri, the input consists of the ingredients like flour, water, salt, and dough. The process consists of mixing the dough and filling it with the dough, and the output is the dolpuri. The types of production process. There are two types of production process, namely labor-intensive and capital-intensive. Labor-intensive production process. It is when the business uses more labor, that is workers, than capital, which means machineries, tools, and equipment in the production process. Labor-intensive production process is mainly used by firms which find labor more productive than capital, small firms which find labor cheaper and more easily available than capital, and enterprises providing services. Examples of businesses using labor-intensive production process are law services, banking services, restaurant, and so on. Capital-intensive production process. It is when the business uses more capital, that is machinery, tools, and equipment, than labor in the production process. Capital-intensive production process is mainly used by firms which have complex production processes which cannot be carried out effectively by labor, produce on a large scale, and find capital cheaper and more productive than labor. Examples of businesses using capital-intensive production process are newspaper printing, juice production, production of electricity. There are different scales of production, namely small-scale production and large-scale production. Small-scale production refers to production carried out by small enterprises. They require a small amount of capital and they usually adopt labor-intensive methods of production. Such production is only appropriate if the enterprise sells its product to a small number of consumers. Moreover, the product should satisfy the consumer's requirements. Examples of businesses that undertake small-scale production are corner shop, wedding dressmaker, fruit seller, and so on. Large-scale production. Large-scale production refers to mass production within a large enterprise. It requires less amount of labor and usually uses capital-intensive methods of production. Examples of businesses undertaking large-scale production are soft drink manufacturer, clothing manufacturer, biscuits manufacturer, and so on. Here are some links that you may follow for additional resources. Well, we have now reached the end of today's lesson. Until the next, goodbye.